Buddy, it's me, Pastor Ken, addressing you from the comfort and safety of my own bedroom. As many of you already heard, I've caught this nasty flu bug and have been trying to rest up these past couple days. And forgive me if I sound a little stuffed up, because I am, or if the sniffles kind of get in the way of what I'm saying. I want to thank the team that came together last minute to pull off this morning, and appreciate everybody's effort in kind of holding down the fort. In any case, I wanted to address you kind of semi in person today to start out this membership meeting. This is the first membership meeting we've had as One Church, Two Locations, and so it'll be an important experience and learning experience for all of us. But there's just some business that we need to take care of, and wanted to start out by celebrating with you the things that God has done in 2012. There are several testimonies that we're about to flash on the screen right now, and they're worth noting at the beginning of this meeting. The first one really has to do with how many people we have won to Christ last year. And I know that, a lot of folks like to criticize, numbers, and numbers don't mean anything and all that, but, they really do. They're not to be the focus of everything, but when we start seeing more and more people come to Christ like we are, it's a sign that good things are taking place. So, last year, combined efforts on both campuses, we had about 227 people make decisions for Christ. And yes, if you're not clapping right now, you probably should be. So it was a wonderful thing that the Lord has done. And most of those salvations came through our outreaches to the community, the VBS and the back-to-school outreaches over the summer. Out of those 200 or so people, we had about 58 that were baptized, which included about 21 kids. And so that's just a joy to see that we're reaching the younger generation. And out of that 58 people, we had about 27 who attended membership class. Now, it didn't work as neatly as that, but that gives you an idea of, and it gives you kind of a standard that we can continue to measure our growth in terms of salvations and incorporating people into the life of the church. And you can see just from those statistics, we did great when it comes to salvation and inviting people to come to Christ, but when it came to incorporating them into the body of Christ, into the life of the local church, we've got a lot of work to do, don't we? Yes, but let's continue to celebrate. As we look back last year, we saw about 68 to 70 people graduate from OSL, which is one of our discipleship programs at the church, and that's an amazing thing. We had, now this statistic shocked me when I saw it, 300 people joined a life group last year across campuses. That's just huge. I mean, I think our average Sunday attendance combined is about just over 500, maybe a little more. So this is over half the church that participated in a life group last year. That's big, and that's encouraging. We served through our food distribution ministries about 125 families a month, and about 30 to 60 loads of laundry per month in our Laundry Love outreaches. These are things that connect us to the community around us, the immediate community. So, yeah, give yourselves a hand for that. That's amazing. When it came to missions giving, we collected in December alone about $4,600. Now, comparatively speaking, that's a large amount. It may not sound like a lot when you look at just how other churches may give to missions and this and that. But for our church, in 1 month to collect that much is a step forward. So, way to go, way to give. To highlight some of the ministries that took place last year on both campuses, we had the Ronald McDonald House, which serves kids and their families of children who have cancer and other life-threatening diseases, and we had teams of people ministering regularly to those families and watching God's love and healing really touch them. So that was a beautiful thing to see. We also have seen growth in our Hispanic ministries on the Harbor City campus. Um, we have a service there, as many of you know, that is showing steady signs, signs of steady growth, and it becomes kind of a net for the people in the community that we're touching through our food distribution. So it's a cool thing to see some of these folks being incorporated into the life of the local church through the Spanish-speaking services and through just the way we're discipling them in those services. We also had a community women's group start out of the relationships that we're building through the food distribution. On a Friday night, they meet 25 to 40 women strong at Harbor City. So those kinds of things are things to celebrate. It's really a neat thing. At Norwalk campus, and I'll skip around on the slide a little bit here, but one of the things I saw Norwalk do in terms of outreach, I wanted to commend your efforts at participating in the outreach opportunities of last year. But the one effective outreach that I saw in terms of just, I guess you could say, return for investment or return on investment was when you guys prepared gift baskets for the community, and you had, I forgot how many baskets were prepared, but you distributed them to neighbors, people that live right around our church, around the Norwalk campus. And you actually had families come and visit the church because of it, and their hearts were touched because of that personal expression of God's love to them. So, amazing job, and I think we need to kind of build on that concept, because I think if our community around here in Norwalk began to view this church as a church that does those kinds of things, we couldn't stop them from coming through the doors on Sunday morning. We'll have to start 2 or 3 services, right? So, the other beautiful thing that in general took place last year, and you just need to know this from a stewardship standpoint, we came into the merge expecting a 30% decrease over 2012, and we actually increased by about 7 or 8% in giving across campuses. I think it may have been more than that. You'll see the financial report in a second. But the cool thing was that we anticipated a decrease, actually received an increase, and we've got even more plans this year to prepare ourselves for fulfilling our mission, or actually fulfilling our mission. And I want to talk to you about that in a second, because one of the things that's happening, that's beginning next week, if you hadn't heard already, and most of you have, is your campus is about to launch 23 or so life groups. And on the Harbor City campus, we've got about 11 or 12 life groups that are in the process of being launched. It'll be the first time you're going to do the life groups in this system, where it's kind of a semester system. But the system is irrelevant. The point is that we want to get as many people involved in the community and life of the church, being discipled, or at least being in an environment where more effective discipleship can happen and life transformation. You see, my conviction is that life transformation requires more than just a once-a-week service and people attending once a week. For life transformation to happen, you need an environment that facilitates that best. And I think it's best facilitated in smaller groups. So, I'm looking forward to all the life change for Christ that will happen because of your life groups. All right? Thank you for letting me share all of that. As you know, our mission is to make disciples that make disciples. And we're going to be sorting out that whole mission, what that means for us this year. My vision is to really help to create and clarify the pathway through which we're going to make disciples this year. And so, be praying about that. Be praying with us along that line. We want our church to actually be doing the work, as you know. And as I've heard it said, Jesus promises that he is the one that builds his church. He commands us to make disciples. And building the church is his job. Making disciples is our job. And he's not going to do our job for us. So let's keep that in mind as you continue through these next few moments in this meeting. Thank you for your participation. Thank you again for all your support. Thank you for the way you have been patient with the process. And let me encourage you at the end here, as members of this church, that invite people to come to church. Like, be evangelistic by just starting to invite friends and family. Get them excited about what God is doing. And we're going to do our best this year to make especially Sunday mornings worthwhile and an event that people would be willing to come back to week in and week out. All right? Love you all. Have a great meeting, and we'll see you soon.